So, DSG, you want to know a fucked up story?
Yeah, sure.
Fucking faggot. No, but hurry up and jump real quick. So, I know you don't like weed and shit, but I'm gonna open up your mind
I
to
got
a
no,
fucked up
I,
world of it.
I got no issue with marijuana.
Oh, oh, I thought you did.
It's just
My
because of
fault.
weed, isn't it?
No, it's because like I mentioned it before, and I don't know, you hated it or some shit like that. I don't know,
Yeah.
but so I'm gonna tell you the story on the first time I ever had weed. And I'm just gonna tell you beforehand, if you ever try an edible, don't do it the first time you ever want to experience weed, because honestly, it's hell and torture for a good 2 to 3 hours.
Okay.
It's pretty funny, but so in freshman year, I was a really, I guess you could say, a goody goody kind of kid or some shit like that. So then I guess I kind of sort of wanted to like explore life or some shit. I don't know. I had like an epiphany or something like that. So then I think like after the first month of school, this dude asked me if I wanted to buy a brownie from him. And I told him, sure, why not? And he pulled out his brownie from his backpack, and it was so fucking huge, dude. It was like the size of my head.
I mean, $15 for like a really big brownie. You already thought that was a really good deal. Brownies are good. I like brownies. You can tell. So I'm
Yeah,
fat.
yeah. That's what I'm saying, dude. I thought it was just a regular brownie. I thought his grandma made his brownies or something like that.
I was like, oh,
Dude,
thanks,
it smelled
Grandma.
so good. Yeah, I was literally gonna buy some more brownies or some shit like that. But I gave him 15 bucks for it. At first, he told me 20, but since we were cool and all, he just asked for 15. So then he told me to eat it right then and there. I was like, why? I was gonna save it. He was like, just do it, bro. So then I ate half of it, and then they just looked at me all crazy, and it looked like that. They looked at me like I was gonna die or some shit like that.
Wait, hold on. You said
And
they?
yeah, okay. So the dude he sold me the brownie, he was one of them, and then I had a couple friends in class. Keep in mind this is in Spanish class, so I didn't give a shit about the class. So in Spanish class, I had a group of friends. Only the dude that sold me that brownie, this chick that was pretty weird, and that was it. That was the only one people I talked to. So whenever I ate half of that brownie, they looked at me all crazy. Like they looked at me like I was gonna die. And keep in mind, I've never experienced the weed before, and they knew that that was a weed brownie, and they never told me anything, which was fucked up. So then, when I started talking to that one chick, she said that she could smell the weed on my breath. I was like, "What are you talking about?" And then she told me, "Bro, you just ate a weed brownie." I'm like, how do you know? I'm not feeling anything. I feel absolutely normal. So then that class period ended, and then my next period, which was like fourth, I think a fourth period, and so in fourth period, which was my English class, I sat in there the whole day, well not the whole day, the whole class period, and then I think that like the last 10 minutes of the class period, I started sinking into my chair, like you know those kind of desks that have the chair connected to this table thing or whatever, and it's just like a single chair.
Yeah.
Alright, I was in one of those, and we had a whole classroom filled with those. So then I was just sitting there, minding my own business, looking at the board. My arms were on the desk, and I just stared at the whiteboard. And for some reason, it felt like I was falling down an abyss, but my arms were numb and I couldn't move at all. I couldn't move my arms. So then I jumped up, I touched my body for some reason, I don't know why. And then I just looked everywhere. I started panicking, and then after that, I forgot that I had a beanie on. So then I realized I had a beanie. The brim around the beanie, that part was on fire. It felt like I was burning on that part. And then that was going on for a good like 2 minutes or so. So then when class ended, I got up, I went up to my friend and told him that I told him that I was really fucking high and I don't know what to do. And he just told me just enjoy the ride, man. I'm like, fuck you. I don't know what to do.
Just enjoy the ride, man.
Yeah. And then he just like stared at me, dude. I don't know why, but he just like stared at me, looking, making sure I wasn't gonna die or nothing. So then I stood there with him for like a good 5 seconds, and then I left class, put on my headphones, and turned on the music. And when I was walking down the hall, it felt like I just got away with murder. Like, like the kind of music that I had on, I had rock music on, and I was walking away like I was James Bond. It was pretty funny.
What? Oh yeah.
That was pretty funny. And so then when I went, I was that class was on the top floor. So then when I went downstairs, I went to go talk to my other friend because she was more experienced than I was. So then when I went to go see her and try to go up and tell her that I was stoned out of my mind, I couldn't walk at all. My legs were wobbly, my vision was really blurry, and I kept running into the lockers, which was pretty stupid. I don't know how no one noticed because the principals and the counselors were in the hallway too, and they just saw me run into the lockers.
I'd assume they think, hey, maybe this kid's just retarded.
I mean, probably. They never seen me before. For some reason, I'm so oblivious to people. Like, when they see me, they just don't recognize me at all. Which is pretty cool. But, so then, when I went up to his friend, I went up to her, and she said hi, or whatever. And I told her, dude, I need help, I'm fucking high. And then she started panicking. She started helping me walk everywhere. She helped me walk to the water fountain. And keep in mind, my vision was still blurry and my legs were still wobbly. So she had to literally almost drag me to a water fountain just so I could sober up. So then when she took me to the water fountain, I drank the water. I stood up, and it felt like the floor or whatever, it was spinning. Like it was going upside down, like I was standing upside down or some shit like that. It was pretty weird. And then I just started panicking and touching my body and then looking all over the place. So I stood still for a minute again. And then, like, I don't know how to explain it, but it's like everything started zooming in into the wall. Like I could see every crevice and every, like, crackle in the wall, which was pretty weird.
Crackle.
So then, crackle. So then I didn't think much of it. So then I had to help her. I mean, she had to help me walk around the hallway again. And then at this time, TCB started. And TCB is like where you can go to other classes and get your papers or something like that. Or you can just walk around the school. Well, during that time, she took me to this anime club. So then I could just sit there and chill for a little bit. And she still had to drag me over there, which was pretty funny. I still love her to this day, dude, just because she did that for me. It's pretty awesome. So when we got to this anime club, I literally tumbled over the desk and sat in the chair and put my head down and started like breathing hard. And it looks like that I passed out to them. It felt like that I was just sitting there for like 5 seconds, but I just sat there for a whole 20 minutes. I didn't know. This shit was funny. So then when I got up real fast, I started panicking again. And then they asked me if I was okay. I was like, dude, do you know what I just did? And they just said no. And I told them that I ate a weed brownie. And they were like, oh, that explains why. And then so then one of my other friends walked in. He just said, bro, you need to check your brownies before you eat them. I'm like, no shit. So then I was still high, so then that was like an hour, almost an hour that passed by, and it was still climaxing. Like that wasn't even the peak until until lunch. But so then they asked me who gave me the brownie and how big was it, and whenever they asked me that, I literally told them the exact measurements and how much weed was in it. It literally felt like Stephen Hawking was on fucking acid. I was such a genius, dude. I can even tell you what 2 plus 2 was.
Shit.
So then after they just like after they just told me to shut up or whatever, I just sat there again, tried to lay down, get some sleep for another 5 or 10 minutes, but I couldn't because the whole room was vibrating. It felt like it was vibrating for some reason. I don't know why. I think it's because of my leg was shaking. I have a tendency to have like my leg shake, which is pretty weird. But I think that's all. I think honestly that was why. But so then after anime club ended, I went into my next class. Well, I tried to go to my next class because it was upstairs, so I had to have that chick help me go up the stairs again, which was pretty funny. So I made it upstairs, and right next to the stairs, there's a bathroom. So then I just tumbled my way into the bathroom. I washed my face, and I looked into the mirror, and my eyes were just bloodshot red. It was like literally blood on my eyes. It was just pretty cool. Kind of liked it.
Well, I mean, they have contacts for that, Amanda. You don't need to get high.
I mean, yeah, but contacts burn. My eyes didn't burn when that happened. It was just like, it's like a dry kind of feeling, so that's why people, when you're high, they have like, they look like they're Chinese. That's why they do that. It's just like a little dry feeling. But it's really relaxing for some reason. I don't know why. So then, after I washed my face or whatever, I sobered up for a good like 5 seconds. So then I went into my next class, which was right next to the bathrooms. I sat my ass down in the back of the class, and I just sat there, looked at my paper the whole entire 45 minutes. I didn't want no one to see my eyes or my face. I didn't want the teacher to see my eyes. But for some reason, literally almost half of the class looked at me and just like started laughing at me. They knew that I was high as hell, dude.
I mean, I'm pretty sure it's worthy to tell. It's like, I'm pretty sure you were doing more than just, looking at your paper, but that's all you can remember.
No, literally, I was just staring at my paper. I didn't move my head at all. I have my head on my arm, and I was just staring at my paper, and then occasionally I would just glance around but not move my head. I would just look around with my eyes, and then just stare at people, and then look back at my paper. I'm like, I look like a creeper, dude. It was pretty weird. So then that class ended, and so then I went back into the bathroom. I washed my face again, and my eyes got even darker, which was pretty awesome. I looked like I was a devil or something like that. It was pretty cool. So then I washed my face again, and I sobered up for a good 5 minutes. And then throughout this, everything was still spinning and vibrating, and I still couldn't walk. But I could still walk, but I had to like drag myself a little bit. Pretty cool. And then after I left the bathroom or whatever, I went into the cafeteria. So then whenever I went to the cafeteria, there was so many people there just staring at me, so I just went outside into the courtyard. And then I just sat my ass in the sun, like literally I laid on the floor in the sun and just stared at the sky the whole time. And then when someone brought me some food, I literally ate their whole tray of food, ate another person's tray of food, and ate another person's tray of food, and then another person's tray of food. That was like 4 people, dude. I ate so much. I wanted to eat some more, but I couldn't because I knew I was going to throw up. I hate throwing up. So then after that, after a good 5 minutes after just eating food, I started relaxing a little bit more. My eye vision wasn't blurry, but my eyes were still red as hell. And then I had a hangover after all that. Like, I had a huge headache, my face was numb, and my arms were just like, it was like a numbing kind of feeling, but it's a relaxing kind of, you tried muscle relaxers, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like that, but on your arms, pretty much. So then, after lunch, I went into my next period, and I just fell asleep that whole period. I woke up with a huge headache, like I had a migraine. And then when I went home, I slept for the rest of the day, and I woke up and I couldn't feel my fingers. And that's the end of the story. So all that lasted for a good 2 to 3 hours.
God.
It just got worse and worse until you start eating. So for your first experience to try it with weed, don't take an edible. Yeah.
Well, that's the moral of the story, kids.
Yeah, don't take edibles from strangers. And definitely don't pay $15 for a brownie or whatever.
Yeah, don't pay fucking... I still can't believe you did that.
That was in freshman year, dude. Honestly, I didn't know. And then after freshman year, I flunked freshman year. So then I went to this alternative school. And then technically I was a sophomore. So then throughout the whole sophomore year, I just started smoking. That's it.
Shit.
Yeah, don't try weed.
Okay, well, damn, that was a 15-minute video.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Holy hell. You know, this whole time I didn't notice until now, I was running around the whole base.
It's okay. I got some background gameplay that looks pretty interesting.
Alright.
I'm running with my people.